and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you are here with me today. If you are new here, welcome. Everybody please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you feel the need to, I wouldn't be mad at you, I swear. Today we are going to go over how to apply false lashes. This is not the only way you can do it. This is not the only way it will work. I'm not a professional at false lashes. I do not have a cosmetology license. This is just me in front of a camera putting on false lashes and telling you how I do it so that maybe it can help somebody else. Since I've started YouTube, I don't have very many subscribers. I don't have a huge following yet, but of my little tiny following family that I love so much, this has been the most requested video that I've gotten from friends, from family, from people that I don't even know. Please, please, please do a video on how to apply false lashes, because I've been using them in all of my videos and never really taking the time to explain it, and I wanted to make sure I had it on lock. And I will say that I'm still not the perfect eyelash applier of all time. This is just how I do it. This is what I know how to do. So let's go ahead and get right into the tutorial. I'm gonna use my Huda Beauty number 7 Samantha lashes today. Huda Beauty lashes are hands down my favorite false lashes that I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot of different false lashes and none really compare to this to these in my opinion. That's just a personal preference though. Everything is going to work different for everyone. It depends on how much weight you can handle on your eyes, the comfortability of each lash that is, you know, in reference to each person that's wearing them, the shape of your eyes and everything like that. So these are just my favorite ones, but you can definitely find awesome lashes at the drugstore for a lower price. These are $23. I think Huda Beauty lashes range from $18 to $23, somewhere in that range. But these are just my favorite, so I break my bank for them. But there are a bunch of lashes from the drugstore that I love, like the Kiss lashes that I've talked about a lot are some favorites of mine, as well as the Ardell Demi Wispies, which are probably my favorite lash from the drugstore. And they're a lot more lightweight than a lash like this, so if heaviness is something you're concerned about, I would definitely start off with a more lightweight lash. You can tell if it's more lightweight due to the thickness of the band and how many different layers of actual lashes are on them. As you can see, if this will focus, these are tapered and they have a lot more layering to them. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to mention is that you want to trim your lashes to your eyelid length and your lash line length. So a big mistake that I always made was I just got fake lashes, took them out of the pack and put them on, and they never really looked right, and it was because I wasn't trimming my lashes. They don't make, you know, a one size fits all. You can put them on this way and a lot of them will be pretty close to your lash line length, but it's really important to go ahead and put these on and see where the excess is lying and where you need to trim. So I already have a pair that I have trimmed because these are brand new and I don't want to waste them when I have a pair that I've only worn once. But basically all you're going to want to do is take the lash out of the package very carefully, because these are priceless, guys. Basically you would just want to take the lash and just, excuse me while I look in there, and just kind of line it up. So basically you would want to line up the end of the lash with the end of your lash line. So the corner, the outside corner of your eye. And so I don't know if you guys can tell, but these are really coming down into my tear duct, and that for me is a little bit uncomfortable. I like them to stop a little bit before my tear duct. So what I would do is take a little pair of cosmetic scissors, any kind of scissors you have really, and I would just go in right about here where that lash separates from the other line of lash and just snip it off really carefully, and then go back in and kind of angle it off so there's not a sharp point like there is right here on the edge of this lash. I don't like that super sharp point. So if you're someone who puts on a pair and hates the way that it tickles the inside of your eye, definitely angle it, trim it down a little bit so that it's not bothering you that much. I already have a pair of Samanthas that are cut to my desired length. As you can see, mine are a lot shorter than the actual package than the actual lashes are that come in the package, because my eyes just aren't that big. To the next step, which is glue. There are lots and lots of different lash glues out there, and it's easy to get intimidated and to get confused on what lash glue is the best. So basically, you have tubes of glue and you have other tubes of glue that have brushes on them. I definitely prefer a lash glue that comes in a tube with a brush, just because it's easier for me, and these typically tend to be clear lash adhesives, and that's just what I prefer. You can also use a black lash glue, which blends in really nicely and makes your lashes look a lot like your lash band look dark and cohesive, and like it's not a lash band. So if you're using a lash from the drugstore that doesn't really have a thick black lash band holding the lashes together, I would recommend using a black glue. Even though it does dry clear, it definitely adds a little bit, you know, it helps you out blending in that lash line into your actual lash line, as opposed to just having a false lash line sitting on your eye. But I just don't use this that often, and this is just Ardell. And then there's this super popular Duo lash glue, which you can buy at Ulta, Sephora, the drugstore, pretty much anywhere, and this is clear white. I use this a lot when I have some heavier duty lashes, just because it's a little bit more strong, heavy duty, but I don't use it all the time, just because, I don't know, I have this weird thing where I love glues with brushes. So these are my two favorite lash glues. This one is from the drugstore, and this is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with aloe vera in it. This is super good. It's latex free, so it's, and formaldehyde free, and it's clear. I like clear lash glues. I don't know why, I just do. But this is my favorite one from the drugstore. It works really well, and it works with pretty much any pair of lashes that I try. But I will say that I have sensitive eyes. This doesn't irritate my eyes, but when I wake up in the morning, I have all the crusties going on, you know, like little eye boogers just in there. It doesn't hurt my eyes, burn my eyes, or anything like that. It does leave a bunch of residue when I wake up in the morning. This does not wear and tear on my lashes, so I love it. Other one that I've been loving lately is this Thrive Cosmetics Infinity Lash Adhesive, and I bought this specifically for sensitive eyes. I googled lash adhesive for false eyelashes for people with sensitive eyes, and this came up. It's waterproof, free of latex, sulfates, and parabens. Good, gentle lash glue. I still wake up with crusties in the morning, but it's just not as intense as when I'm using a different eyelash glue. It's just very faint and subtle crusties going on. So this one's definitely more gentle on my eyes, but I will say it's not as strong and heavy duty as my Strip Lash by Kiss. This one's a little bit more weak, so that's sad for me, but I still really like it, and it works really well with a lot of lashes. Just sometimes it's a little bit weak. Today I'm going to use my Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe. This is my go-to, my number one. I can always count on it. The first step after cutting your lashes or trimming them to your desired and preferred length is to add on the glue. So you don't want to go too heavy and you don't want to go too thin. So all I do is just after having dipped the tip of the brush in the glue, I just paint on some glue. Just like you're in art class. Picture you being in art class. And it just looks like this. Pick up the next lash and do the same exact thing. So make sure that that there's not any big globs of glue or anything on there, because it's going to take longer for it to get tacky. I have one tip for anybody watching this video, is to let your lash glue get a little dry and tacky before you try to apply them. This is crucial. This is what I messed up with for so long when I started using false lashes, is I was just painting on the glue and going, why isn't it working? Somebody help me. Lash glue hasn't had time to actually activate and start working and doing its thing. The secret is to let it sit for probably about 60 seconds. You want to make sure that it's not completely dry, but when it starts to dissolve a little bit and it's becoming harder to see and you touch it and it's tacky, that's when you know it's ready to apply. It's going to apply so much more easily. When you let it get tacky, you literally can just set it on there and push it in and it's done. It's stuck for the day. So I am going to set this down, and normally when I'm letting my lash glue dry, I go ahead and curl my lashes, which I've already done, just because I'm in a habit of curling my lashes before I put my liner on. And then I go ahead and just do a thin coat of mascara. Today I'm using my new favorite, which is the Revita Lash Volumizing Mascara. I just have a little sample right now, but just like you would any other time, just do one little light coat of mascara. Oh. Oh. Okay, if that ever happens to you, again, let it dry and then wipe it away with a spoolie. If you go in right now and try to get it off, it's just gonna smear and stain. You're gonna have to reapply your foundation or concealer over it, and it's a pain in the A. So just let it dry and then you can wipe it away with a spoolie. So just deal with it for a minute, okay? So now that we have a good thin layer of mascara and a nice new beauty mark going on, take that off. I just did what I told you guys not to do, and I took it off with a Q-tip because I don't have a spoolie over here and I'm lazy. Moving on. So now it's time to put your lashes on. As you can see, the lash glue has started to become more invisible. It's not as clearly seen as it was before, and when I touch it, it's very tacky. I always recommend to anybody with false lashes to use tweezers. It's just so much easier for me. I have little sausage hands, and fake nails, so it gets a little bit difficult. I just recommend not using anything super pointy. I recommend a slanted tip, something that's not super looking like a shank or anything. You can use just squeezy tip ones, or you can use scissor handles. I like them both. So I'm gonna start applying my lash. So I'm just picking it up from the side angle, not super in the middle, and I'm giving myself a little angle the way I'm holding the brush, just so that I can see everything that I'm doing. And I'm just gonna try and get real nice and close and personal with you guys. And then I'm looking down into my mirror, okay, and I'm just lining it up. I'm making sure I go over the top of my real lashes and pushing down to the bottom of my lash line and lining up that outer corner of the lash with the actual outer corner of my eye and just pressing in. And then I'm going around to the front corner and making sure it's pointing down to the front corner of my eye and pressing in. If you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the inner corner of my lash is kind of flopping out. It's not exactly sticking, and that's a problem that I have all the time, and it can be easily fixed, but just keep pressing it in for the time being and then move on to the next lash, because you don't want your lash glue to completely dry. Just if there's a mistake, it's fine. Just make sure everything is down to the lash line and move on to the next lash before you run out of time, because then you're gonna have to wipe it off and start all over again, and nobody's got time for it. Again, just looking down into my mirror, a slanted angle on the lash so that I can see what I'm doing, pressing over top of my actual lashes, lining up the outer corner, pressing into the skin of the lid or lash line, picking up that inner corner part of the lash and pointing it into the center of my tear duct. A real huge issue that I tend to have with false lashes is the lash sticking to my actual lash, and then I'm trying to get it off of the lashes and onto the skin. So you just kind of have to give yourself some time and be patient, and don't rush it, because when you're rushing it, then you just get frustrated and it's a lot easier to make mistakes. We got a little issue. So all you need to do is, this is why I love brush tip lash adhesive, because I can just go in and brush on a little bit on that spot that's coming up from the skin and let that dry while I work on another aspect, which is to, once you know that your lashes are down and in there, you can pick up whatever eyeliner you were using. Or if you haven't used eyeliner up until this point, just get a simple black eyeliner. It could be liquid or crown, and just kind of go, close your eye and just kind of go over that lash band. I personally always like to tightline. Today I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Mechanical Eyeliner in Ultra Black. This is a real good one. And just tightline a little bit, making sure everything's down. And then I'm gonna pick up my mascara again and do one little tiny coat just to make sure my false lashes and my real lashes are blending together. I'll go ahead and go in and do my lower lashes. Sorry, I've got to get really close. So now that this eye is complete, my glue over here, I just want to peek at it and it has pretty much become invisible. So now I'm just going to pick up that false lash band and dig it into my lid. Sorry, I had to get real close and personal. And now that it's sticking, I'm gonna give it a minute to settle before I go in with the eyeliner like I did on the other side, so I don't rip it back off again and have to start all over. If there's another tip that I want you to take from this video, is to be patient. I'm gonna take my Kat Von D ink liner, the liquid pen, and just go over my wing just to make sure that last lash band is invisible. Take my Matte L'Oreal crayon pencil again and tightline. And now I'm going to do one last little coat of mascara, the lower lashes. Excuse me for 1 minute while I do this. And that, my friends, is it. That is how I apply face. I hope this video was informative and educational. I hope you learned something. I hope you're excited to try false lashes. Take it from 0 to 100 real quick. I'm gonna zoom you in just to show you how false lashes can really look. I mean, obviously they don't look natural, but they can look seamless and just right on your lash band. They can look like your actual lash band. They don't have to stick out and look super fake all the time. These are pretty dramatic. If you're going for the natural look, I wouldn't recommend these, but I would recommend them if you want some sass and some good lashes, because these are bomb. Please, please, please don't forget to always, always, always celebrate yourself. I do want to throw out there that I have another video right now, and it is a giveaway. It's linked down below. Go check that out, enter. It's some awesome prizes. Watch my video to see what you can win. Thank you guys for watching. I love you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. I've always wanted to do that.